Hi friends, we move further with asset allocation strategies in which we have to study so many things, and it is usually there once again in our examination. I'm not going to solve many of the numericals today, but I'll guide you with different strategies and different theoretical aspects of all those things. The first one we take up here is asset allocation. Mostly while talking to different people and evaluating personal as well as others financial statements, I've always believed that whatever investment we do have, it has been maintained as a pool. It has not been segregated for different goals. These are some of the strategies which make us understand how can we build a corpus individually to achieve each of our goal. So an investment strategy that aims to balance risk and reward by apportioning a portfolio's asset according to an individual's first one is goal. Mostly when I did not do CFP and all, I was always used to invest in what you can say random manner, that most of the Indians do in that particular manner. I did not have a clear idea about the particular goal for which I have to invest, and for different goals I need to maintain different instruments or different asset allocations. So after studying all those things, I studied most of the things, researched most of the things, and what comes to the picture is our behavior at times taxation while doing MS Finance. These things were not essentially covered which were affecting real life of an individual, but it has been nicely covered up in our curriculum, so should you know this and implement also. So when we talk about any investment, it should be purely based on our goals. Another is risk tolerance. Now many of the goals I talk about, say I want to buy a house, bigger house after 3 years or 4 years, I don't have heavy risk tolerance for it. Instead I would be having very low risk tolerance for it. It would be an emotional goal for me, so I would be taking very less risk there. Other side, I might be having some goals of say world tour or say excursion goals. For those goals I can take heavy risk. Retirement also kind of goal, because I would be having so many years to achieve that goal, so I would be taking higher risk. So essentially when it comes to you can also segregate your investments considering these three basic things. First one is goal, another is risk tolerance, third is investment horizon. These are the three things which matter a lot for an individual. Look at this, I copied from a book, Individual Investors Life Cycle, and one more thing superimposed is wealth cycle. Initially when you are in accumulation phase, your long-term goals would be retirement, children, education, and short-term goal would be buying a house and buying a car. Very less wealth goals are there, long-term, short-term. Short-term have been always emotional, so take no risk for it. As we move further in our life, what happens? I'm talking about this period. We have started accumulating wealth. This is a transition period wherein we are completely shifting from one segment to another segment. So from accumulation to consolidation phase, wherein some of the long-term goals have been short-term goals, and short-term goals earlier have already been fulfilled. So you can see the earlier children education was long term, has now been shifted to short term, and some more goals which have come up are vacations and retirement, still a long term. So I retire and would be having the highest level of wealth once I retire, and then my long term goal would be how do I still accumulate and give sizable money to my heirs, and short-term goals would be maintaining routine expenses. So this is how individual investor passes through different stages of his life, and this is how wealth moves up and down. Some of the asset allocation strategies to be adopted by an individual. First one is strategic asset allocation. Portfolio strategy that involves periodically rebalancing. I've got a separate video on it. The portfolio, in order to maintain long-term goal, for asset allocation. At the inception of the portfolio, base policy mix has been decided. Now, base policy mix would depend on goal, another is risk, and third is time. These are the three parameters based on which we can set a base policy mix. Because the value of asset can change given market condition, portfolio constantly needs to be readjusted. That is nothing but rebalancing. As I said, we would be having a separate video on it. Okay, so I keep on allocating weightage to different asset classes. Most commonly it is equity, debt, and third is liquid. These are the three asset classes to accumulate wealth for an individual. So allocation to these three asset classes based on his goal, another is risk tolerance, and third is time horizon is known as strategic asset allocation. And as I said, we have to constantly readjusting, because equity, if perform well, then obviously the weight of equity will increase in the portfolio. Debt did not do well and liquid anyway gave lesser return, so equity weight is higher, so we have to readjust it. So that's what they talk about. Tactical asset allocation. Now say for example, from the earlier analysis, we found that for somebody who is 35 and we are targeting retirement planning as a goal, so we advised him to invest 70% in equity and 30% in debt. Now what comes is, market is not likely to do well. That is our anticipation for next 6 months or so. So to protect wealth of an individual, we recommended him to shift to 50% equity and 50% debt allocation. This is purely temporary adjustment because market sentiments are bad. Once that period is over, that is the 6-month period which we set, will once again go back to 70:30 allocation. This is tactical asset allocation. So it is all about taking advantage of the market pricing or anomalies. Other side, if I have given him 70:30 and I believe market is on upbeat and it's going to perform really well, I can also change the portfolio from 70:30 to 80:20, and once again after 6 months I'll go back to 70:30. So this is the concept of tactical asset allocation. It is semi-active. Strategic asset allocation is a passive strategy. Another is insured asset allocation. This is like mostly done for HNIs and all. With an insured asset allocation strategy, you establish a base portfolio value under which the portfolio should not be allowed to drop. So I set a rate which is known as hurdle rate. As long as the portfolio achieves the return above this base, you exercise active management, relying on analytical research, forecast, and judgment and experience to decide what securities to buy, hold, and sell, with the aim of increasing portfolio value as much as possible. However, say for example, we started with 1 CR and we set a hurdle rate of 8%. We are achieving more than 8%. We keep on taking risk. However, it is believed that we cannot achieve 8%. We will straight switch to risk-free securities, so-called insured asset allocation, mostly offered by individual portfolio managers or portfolio management service providers. None of the mutual fund offer such kind of strategies. So not a retail strategy. This can be operated by a planner for their clients. Now understand, I just compare two things. One is strategic asset allocation and another is insured asset allocation. So when market is up, I'll sell equity into that. In insured asset allocation, when market is going up, I'll buy equity. In strategic asset allocation, when market is down, I buy equity and insured asset allocation, when market is down, I'll be out of equity. Reason is that strategic asset allocation says that we have to ensure a particular balance. So for that particular purpose, when equity is doing well, we'll gain higher balance in the portfolio and we sell equity. Wherein insured asset allocation says that when market is doing well, take better opportunity from the market. So that is how it is different, and both work in real life. So I hope you have understood the three basic asset allocation strategies. First one being strategic asset allocation, another bit modification of it, tactical asset allocation, and last one being insured asset allocation. We have so many things to explore. Keep watching. Thank you.